Boys gradually become men, but how do they learn the way? What kind of influences, stories, and lessons will shape them as they grow up? Who will be there to teach them healthy masculinity? Well, if they're a young boy out in 1960s Texas, they might just be fortunate enough to learn from their two crazy uncles. That's right. Today, we are talking about the 2003 coming of age film Secondhand Lions. Secondhand Lions is not a great movie, but it is a fun and heartwarming one. The story's not particularly groundbreaking, but the acting chops of Robert Duvall and Michael Caine are what carry the day. When Walter, played by Haley Joel Osment, gets left by his uncaring mother at his two uncles' Texas farm, Hub and Garth are reluctant to take him in. Eventually, they realize that they need him as much as he needs them. Misadventures, tall tales, and life lessons ensue. Hub and Garth McCann encapsulate two different aspects of healthy masculinity for Walter throughout the film. While both old men are a bit crotchety and cantankerous, Garth has a gentleness to him that helps him connect with Walter. When Walter finds out his mother's lied to him again and tries to run off to Montana, Garth is the one who empathizes with him and finds a way to bring him back.
We got better maps than that one at the house, right, Hub?
Yeah, man needs a good map, that's for sure.
Sure.
He's not lacking in strength, but his strength manifests more often in storytelling and kind words than in brash action. Hub, on the other hand, is all about brash action. He's much gruffer than Garth,
Either one of you got a lick of sense.
but his passion drives him to fight and push boundaries. When confronted by violent hoodlums, Garth may take the safer rational path of getting them to back down, but Hub will simply take them all on, beat them, and then give them a healing hand and some sage life advice. Garth is the rational, kind side of masculinity, while Hub is the passionate, driven side. This shows up most clearly in the story about how the two finally defeat their enemy, the Sheik. Garth uses trickery to both get the reward money and rescue Hub, while Hub confronts the Sheik head-on and forces him to stop hunting him and his wife. From the two brothers, Walter learns how to balance strength with kindness, rational knowledge with passion and belief. The stories in the film are also an important part of coming of age. The stories we hear growing up will shape us the rest of our lives. For boys, hearing stories about men having adventures and pushing themselves to be the best they can be is important. They need positive examples and role models, so hearing stories about men using their strength to protect the weak and defend the right, instead of for their own selfish ends, is critical. We don't know until late in the film whether the stories that Garth tells about the two brothers in Africa are true or not, but they still serve a purpose. Walter has had no positive role models of what a man ought to be, so the combination of seeing his uncles and hearing about their adventures provides him the example he so desperately needs. Hearing about the two protecting each other in the French Foreign Legion during World War I, Hub falling in love with and rescuing the beautiful Princess Jasmine, and then the brothers outsmarting and defeating the Sheik, are stories that Walter clearly cares deeply about. Deeply enough to summon the courage to confront Hub about what happened all those years ago. A boy needs positive role models, stories that shape his imagination, and, finally, wise advice. A coming-of-age story that doesn't have a wise mentor imparting some words of wisdom is a lousy coming-of-age story. Throughout the film, we hear about Hub's famous, "what every boy needs to know about being a man" speech. Towards the end of the film, Walter finally gets to hear a part of it from Hub. Now, whether you agree or disagree with the sentiments in the speech, especially the philosophy about truth and belief, it's still a great moment in this film. Robert Duvall's acting is masterful here. You can really see the raw hurt of a young man losing his wife, even after decades, even standing next to a pond in nothing but his nightshirt.
True love never dies. You remember that, boy.
Garth and Hub's advice is the final piece that Walter needs, and it allows him to finally step away from his mother's selfishness and lies and come back to his real home. So, if you're telling a coming-of-age story, remember the three key pieces you'll need: positive role models, good stories, and wise advice. I'm AJ, And I hope you found this discussion around Secondhand Lions interesting. What is your favorite coming-of-age story? Have you learned other lessons about filmmaking or storytelling from this movie? Let me know down in the comments below, and like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Now, go out there and create stories.